When Robert Downey Jr. walked away from the MCU after Avengers Endgame, it felt like the perfect ending. Tony Stark's journey was complete, emotional, and honestly, almost impossible to top. So, when Marvel announced that he would return, not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday, fans were shocked. Some were excited, but many were confused, wondering if this was just nostalgia being used as a shortcut. Now, Downey has finally explained why he made this decision, and the answer is far more interesting than just a paycheck or a comeback moment. According to him, this was never about repeating the past. It was about doing something completely different, something audiences have never seen him do before. Instead of playing the charming genius hero again, he wanted to challenge himself by stepping into the shoes of one of Marvel's most complex villains. What really pushed him toward this role was the idea of being cast against type. After spending over a decade as Tony Stark, people naturally associate him with wit, confidence, and heroism. But Doctor Doom is the opposite in many ways. He is cold, calculating, and driven by control rather than connection. That contrast is exactly what made the role appealing to Downey, because it forces him to break away from the identity he built inside the MCU. Interestingly, his experience working on Oppenheimer played a huge role in shaping this decision. Under director Christopher Nolan, Downey took on a character that looked and felt nothing like his previous roles. That transformation reminded him that audiences are willing to accept him in completely different forms as long as the performance is strong. It gave him the confidence to return to Marvel, but in a way that reinvents his image, rather than repeating it. Downey also talked about how this return comes with a sense of responsibility. He knows that stepping back into the MCU after such a definitive exit raises expectations. Instead of relying on his past success, he approached Doctor Doom with intense preparation. He wanted to make sure that this version of the character feels distinct, layered, and completely separate from Tony Stark. This is why early footage already hints at major differences, including a new accent, a darker tone, and a much more intimidating presence. Another important factor is the creative direction behind the upcoming Avengers films. With Joe Russo and Anthony Russo returning to direct, there is a clear attempt to bring back the scale and storytelling strength that defined earlier MCU phases. Downey seems to trust that vision, especially because these are the same filmmakers who helped shape Iron Man's final arc. This time, however, the goal is not to build a hero, but to introduce a villain who could redefine the entire saga. His comments also suggest that he is more interested in exploring the deeper layers of power and control, rather than just spectacle. Doctor Doom is not just another villain with strength or weapons. He is a ruler, a strategist, and someone who believes he deserves to dominate the world. That psychological depth gives Downey the opportunity to explore a completely different kind of performance, one that focuses more on authority and intensity rather than charisma alone. This approach could also solve one of the biggest concerns fans had when the casting was announced. Many people feared that audiences would still see Tony Stark whenever Doom appeared on screen. But if Downey fully commits to transforming his voice, physicality, and behavior, that association could disappear. Instead of feeling like a recycled casting choice, it could become one of the boldest reinventions the MCU has attempted. There is also a larger picture here. The MCU is currently moving toward massive multiversal events, and Doctor Doom is expected to play a central role in shaping that future. By bringing back an actor as iconic as Downey, Marvel is not just relying on familiarity. It is placing a huge bet on performance, expecting him to carry the emotional and narrative weight of the next phase. That is a risk, but it is also an opportunity to create something truly memorable. So what do you think about RDJ returning as Doctor Doom? Genius casting or a risky move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Also follow us on Facebook for daily content.